Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming out today. This is an important day, not just for this region, but in my opinion, for the state of Maryland. And as you know, we've struggled over the last couple of years with severe deficit throughout the state of Maryland. And we've looked at a number of ways in which to address some part of that. A few years ago, you may recall that I was one of those who switched my position from being a very strong anti-gaming person to one who fully believes that it's something that we needed to do. And when I stated at that time that I wanted to do it, I thought we should do it right. And unfortunately, we did not go quite as far as I wanted to. I stated at that time that we needed more sites, that Prince George's County should be one of those sites, and that we should include gaming as one of the potential options. I think over the years, my position some years ago was probably the correct one. Now, what changed my position 4 years ago, and why I now in Montgomery County advocated that we do this? First of all, we need to resolve as much of this deficit as we can quickly. Secondly, there's an ongoing need for jobs throughout this state. And thirdly, I think the two county executives behind me will attest that our number one priority is education. And we need to find additional resources to ensure that the state of Maryland educational system remains the very top in the nation. But in addition to that, I realized that large numbers of Montgomery County residents, and in fact large residents numbers in this great state, were leaving to go to West Virginia. And so when I see those despicable ads on the television today urging Marylanders to reject this question, urging Marylanders to not vote in support of this, people need to understand that the people behind those ads stand to benefit if we reject this, and that Marylanders will suffer as a result of this. Those ads are paid for by those who are trying to deny us the opportunity to expand jobs, to increase our tax base, and to ensure that we can do more for education. So understand that. This is about trying to stop us and to ensure that the pockets of those in West Virginia are enhanced as a result of that. And so I'm here today with two outstanding leaders. This is one of the hard places of Montgomery County that we were able to revitalize. If you had visited this place some years ago, you'd have found that we had dilapidated buildings and we had all kinds of crime in this particular area. This is now a hub. But we were able to do that because we generated the revenues, we provided education first, and we made the proper investment. This is what can happen in a great part where we continue to provide the revenues that are needed throughout the state of Maryland. And gaming is not a panacea for all of the concerns in terms of the budget, but it's one strong way in which we could help. One leader who's been doing that next door to me, a person who has really taken on the helm of trying to provide education in the areas and places that this great state needs, especially in Howard County, who looks at economic development in a very strong and realistic way, who understands what is at stake here, is my good friend, a strong leader for Maryland, a strong leader for his own county, Howard County. Let me bring forward now Ken Oldman, the county executive from Howard County. Ken?
Thank you. Thank you, Ike. Thank you for your leadership on so many issues. Thank you for what you did and what you continue to do in beautiful Silver Spring, although it was not as pretty a couple of days ago when I was playing 3-on-3 basketball right in that street that was closed down, and some of your finest young people were teaching me a few lessons my basketball game. But I want to thank you for your leadership. It's a great honor to join Ike Leggett, to join Rushern Baker, my good friend, and to join County Council member Ingrid Turner, who's also the president of the Maryland Association of Counties. Thank you for the partnership and the job you do, Ingrid, as well. I was president of the Maryland Association of County last year, and Ingrid's doing a great job as president this year. I'll keep my comments brief. Ike did a great job framing this issue. It's about education. It's about jobs. In Howard County, we're proud of our school system. We're proud of our business-friendly attitude and economic development. But I also know, as county executive, we've been down there fighting for more funding for K through 12, more funding for education. We've seen teacher pensions shifted, and we know that there is a burden to continue to be able to find the revenues to invest in our children's education. And this is one way to enhance the Education Trust Fund to help us accomplish that goal. It's not the only way, it is one way, and I think it's very important. When it comes to economic development, we're talking about 2,000 construction jobs, and we're talking about over 4,000 permanent jobs. It makes no sense to have gaming, but only have electronic gaming so you can sit and play with the fake blackjack dealer, but you can't hire a real blackjack dealer and pay that person a good living wage for a job in the state of Maryland. That's what this effort is about. It makes no sense. And so when I think about the number of people who are leaving the state of Maryland, when I think about the fact that we have a policy now that really makes no sense, we're behind the curve. Delaware, West Virginia, Pennsylvania all have table games and we don't. It's something we need to do. County Executive Leggett made an important point. For those people who think this is our only answer, let me tell you, this economy is about the high-tech innovation economy of the future. I just left lunch with President Wallace Lowe at the University of Maryland, and he has this vision. This state has this vision. But you know what? Entertainment, retail, and hospitality is a part of that. And those are great jobs for an economy, and I want them here in Maryland, not out of state. And the last thing I'll say about this is I love the University of Maryland. I love the state of Maryland. And just like I want the University of Maryland to beat West Virginia on Saturday in football, I want the great state of Maryland to beat back this out-of-state money from West Virginia in November. That's why I'm here. Thank you very much. So with that, I want to introduce my friend, a guy who's become just a great friend. We're able to compare notes and make progress together, just like County Executive Leggett is my friend, Prince George's County Executive, Rushern Baker.
Now you know why I like working with these guys. First of all, good afternoon. I want to, before I begin, I want to thank the President of MACo and my council member, Ingrid Turner, for being here and showing support. Ingrid is one of the 5 members of the council who, or 6 members of the council who actually support gaming and expanding it. So I want to thank her for being here. I also want to thank County Executive Leggett for his leadership in understanding the broader scope of this issue and being willing to support Prince George's County, Baltimore City, and the state of Maryland for bringing in revenues. Clearly, I want to thank County Executive Ullman. Kenny's doing a great job. It's always good to see him in Montgomery County and in Prince George's County. We see him a lot these days. So we appreciate him being here. And I won't be long. I think they actually talked about and hit the nail right on the head as to why we're supporting this, why we fought so hard in Annapolis to get this referendum on the ballot. It's not just about gaming. It's not just about table games. It's not about slots. It's about economic development. It's about good jobs, good union jobs that we're creating. It's about expanding the opportunities in Prince George's County, but also for the state of Maryland. We estimate that there's going to be about $200 million that the state would get from bringing gaming and having the 6th site and expanding the table games. It's about the jobs they talked about, the high-end jobs, the table game job. But it's also about economic development that spurs from having a high-end facility at National Harbor. You know, it's entertainment, live shows that will come to National Harbor. It's high-end restaurants. It's shopping opportunities that then will have the state of Maryland and Prince George's County be able to take advantage of the fact that the number of people, millions of people who come to the Washington region each year for visits. We can bring those dollars back to the state of Maryland, back to Prince George's County. It is also, as my colleague said, about us competing with, and make no mistake, this is about Maryland versus West Virginia. The people running the ads against having a 6th site in Prince George's County and expanding table games are from West Virginia. Ain't no problem, you know, I ain't got nothing against that, other than the fact that those resources and those dollars need to stay right here. They need to help us raise teacher salaries. They need to help us hire more police officers, more firefighters. They need to help us expand our infrastructure so that our roads are good. And that's what we're talking about. In this time where the economy, where we're looking for every dollar we can, this is about expanding resources in the state, and that's why we support it. This is a critical point. I'll end in this. This is a critical point in this election. We want the voters of Maryland, to understand what we're really talking about and how important this is. We're doing the same thing in Baltimore City, making sure they understand how important this is. Kenny Alderman's here, making sure Howard County, Baltimore County, everybody understands how important this is to expand resources to the state of Maryland. And we've got only a couple of weeks left in this, and we want to make sure we get the message out there that this is about keeping resources in Maryland and expanding our opportunities. And so I'm pleased to be joined by our colleagues today. With that, we'll take some questions.
Executive?
Yes.
You say this is Maryland versus West Virginia, but up in Anne Arundel County, there's a casino that's already operating up there that's not too thrilled about this either. Are you trying to frame this as an interstate issue when clearly you have significant opposition in this state?
No, I think once we got past, look at this, once we got past the General Assembly where we took care of Anne Arundel County, made sure they're held harmless, and other facilities, I think people are satisfied with the way that the bill came out of the General Assembly. What this is really about, look who's running the commercials against this. That's right, $5.5 million, that's Penn National, that's coming out protecting their West Virginia site. That's fine. But people in Maryland need to understand this is about us protecting resources and dollars in the state. I don't know, Kenny or Ike or anybody want to? Please. Anyone else?
Any other question?
You said this is coming from Penn National and it's about their site in West Virginia. Do you think it's also about the fact that you're supporting National Harbor when they really wanted a casino at Rosecroft?
No, the bill clearly states that the expansion of a sixth site in Prince George's County can include a competition between National Harbor, a site I support because I think it offers us the best economic opportunity in the state and in Prince George's County, and Rosecroft. So there's a great chance everybody's going to be able to compete. Certainly, Penn National at Rosecroft can make their pitch. So, no, I don't think it's about that. Any other questions? Anybody? Thank you.
Thank you.